We're Sara and Alex James. After traveling for over 2 years all over the US and Canada in our self-converted Sprinter van, we decided it was time to settle down and start our family. But that didn't mean the van life was over for us. Now we build out custom van conversions here in our shop in Boise, Idaho. So come on in to the Custom Crafted Van Shop, sponsored by Battleborn Batteries. On episode 1 of the new van build series, we're converting a 2019 3500 159 Extended Promaster for our clients Michele and David. On this week's episode, we're installing windows and going over some of the big differences between a Promaster versus a Sprinter. Before we jump into the window install and all that fun stuff, we wanted to cover some of the differences between a Promaster and a Sprinter. As you know, if you've been watching our channel, this is our first Promaster build and we're really excited about building in this. So we wanted to tell you a couple of the differences. The big things being the width and the length of the Promaster versus the Sprinter. So a 2019 Sprinter, they actually changed the length just a little bit. It's a little bit shorter on the inside. So the interior length of a 2019 Sprinter is 173.5 inches about. And we'll link all the dimensions in a blog post below this if you want exact specs on everything. And then the 2019 Promaster, lengthwise from the interior cargo space, so we're talking behind the driver's seat to the back of the van, is 160 inches. So the Sprinter is about 15 inches bigger overall lengthwise, so that does give you a little bit more room in your build if you want to sleep front to back. Now with the Promaster, it's a little bit wider, so a lot of people sleep side to side. We may be going with that option for this van build. We're not exactly sure yet. But width-wise, the Promaster is, let me check my specs here so I make sure I get this right. The interior width of a Promaster is 75.6 inches, and the interior width of a Sprinter is about 70 inches. So you have 5.5 inches. Really does make the space feel quite a bit wider, surprisingly, that 5.5 inches. So again, that's how a lot of people are able to sleep side to side if you're a little bit shorter. And then the last thing, height obviously matters if you're gonna sleep side to side, front to back, all that good stuff. So width matters in that regard. But also height-wise, the interior height of a Promaster is about 1.8 inches lower than a Sprinter. So if you're taller, Sprinter might be a better option because you can sleep front to back, you've got more length, you've got more height. If you're shorter, Promaster might be a great option because you can sleep side to side. It's a little bit shorter, so you're going to be able to compensate for that shorter length with that side to side bed, and that's pretty much it, right? So there's a lot of factors that go into picking a van. Hopefully that helps. Again, we'll link in a blog below this video, we'll link it down below, the dimensions and specs of each van so you can check those out.
As a builder, there are definitely some big differences stepping into the Promaster versus the Sprinter, and that's just kind of coming from the mindset of having worked in the Sprinter so much to now transitioning to a completely new vehicle with some different construction and layout than the Sprinter has. Now, one of the first things that I noticed is this back area. It comes with this nice trim piece in the back. I don't think I'm actually going to trim this out myself. I might cover this or do something, but this is actually a really nice feature that it comes with in the back of the Promaster. Now, all of these vans kind of come together at the back of them, so there's usually somewhere of like 2 to 4 inches at the back. That's not always the most usable space because the back does narrow where the taillights come together. So with that, in this van, because we're doing the Outdoorsman build, which has to have a frame inside to support the platform, everything has to start where the van squares out. So where the back headlights come together and where the van starts to narrow in the Promaster is about 3.5 to 4 inches, which is a couple inches bigger than the Sprinter, so there's a little bit more wasted space in the back of the van. But it won't be wasted, we'll figure out a way to use it. Now, one of the other big things that you notice with this van is definitely the fact it comes with its own headliner shelf. So this is pretty cool. In the Sprinters, we typically add a headliner shelf, but with this headliner shelf, the trick is going to be trimming it out so that it looks seamless. Because there are a lot of spaces, you guys know if you've seen our vans, in the Sprinter, for example, where the trim meets right here, we always trim it out right here to cover looking inside the headliner of the cab. So we're going to have to figure out some way to trim this out and make it look really good. Another thing that this has, because the ProMaster does not have the rear drivetrain, it is front wheel drive. The back of the van is lower, so you actually step down if you're transitioning from the front cockpit area of the van into the back. You step down a good 3 to 4 inches before you're back into the cargo area. This one did not come with a subfloor, so because it didn't come with a subfloor, we went ahead and made our own out of 1/2-inch Baltic birch plywood. And with that, again, the Sprinter comes with a really nicely engineered subfloor, and so we typically build right on top of that. Sometimes we insulate underneath it depending on what the client's needs are. With this one, because there was no subfloor, we did a couple layers of just foam underlayment padding, and then we put our 1/2-inch plywood down. And with the 1/2-inch plywood, we actually treated it on both sides with kills just to give a little bit more durability, so that it's mold, stain, and water resistant and all that good stuff that you want from a really good subfloor. Two other quick topics. One, there is no step in the back area. In the Sprinter, there is a step when you step up from the sliding door into the van. There is no step in this van, so that's something you don't have to factor into. Overall, it's a great vehicle. We're really excited. We've been driving it a little bit around empty. Have not driven one of these before. It has a little bit more power than I was anticipating, so I'm excited to see how this engine does when it is weighed down. This is the 3500 extended, so this is designed to be the highest load capacity of all of the Ram Promasters, and just excited to build it out. Little bits of changes here and there, and excited to create an Outdoorsman in this van for Michele and David. We're in the 159 Extended Promaster today. We are getting prepped to cut in the windows. We're doing a small vent window in the back and a T-vent window in the passenger door. We already talked about all that. So we're getting prepped. One of the first things we had to do was actually take out this rib that runs vertical. And we didn't want to cut against the outside of the van, just in case something happens, then you're going to be going through the outside shell of the van. So we cut it actually where it attaches to these, I don't know, brackets, mounts, horizontal ribs. I don't know what you want to call them. We'll call them horizontal ribs. So we cut them off of the horizontal ribs. Now that we have this cut out, we can go ahead and take our template, which we made out of cardboard. So we actually traced the size of the window that's going to be fitting into the hole. And now we're going to be going ahead, tracing this on here with Sharpie, taping the whole thing out with painter's tape, and then drilling holes with drill bits so that we can make our final cut from the outside of the van using our jigsaw. And we're going to know exactly what lines we're going to be following because it's already going to be pre-drilled with holes. One important thing to always keep in mind when you're cutting any holes anywhere in the van is to really clean up as you go. That means a vacuum, a magnet, and cleaner, so that you really try and get all of the metal shavings up off of the van and off the ground so you're not stepping on them, or if you have dogs like we do. But what happens is those metal shavings, those are actually going to rust faster than anything else. So you really want to get as many of those up as possible. And then anywhere where you've taken off paint, you want to go ahead and hit it with a primer so that you actually are protecting that metal again. So anywhere that we have cut, just initially cutting that rib out, we've gone ahead, filed it down, gotten rid of any of the metal shavings, cleaned it all up, cleaned it all off, and then hit it with primer.
It really just never gets old walking out our back door and walking like 10 steps, that's our commute, to the shop. And I just love that so much. It's like the best thing ever. And I wanted to answer some common questions that we get, one of which being, what do we film with? And we actually have a few different things that we film with, and I'll link everything down in the description box for you guys. But right now I'm actually shooting this on my iPhone. And we recently stumbled upon Skillshare, which is an online community for creators that has more than 25,000 classes, one of which is how to film and edit on your iPhone. So we use our iPhones a lot. I have an iPhone 8 Plus. Alex has a 7 Plus, I believe. And we shoot on these a ton. So that class is amazing, being able to use your phone, and you don't always need expensive camera equipment. So there's a link in the description box below. First 500 people that sign up get Skillshare for free for 2 months. And after that, it's only about $10 a month. With Skillshare, you get unlimited access, so you can find all the right classes for you and really take classes that interest you. And it's all online, which is just amazing that we have this technology at our fingertips nowadays that we can learn and create online and share with each other. The other things that we shoot with are a Sony a6300, and we recently just got a Mavic Air drone, which is amazing. You guys might notice we have more drone shots in our stuff recently. But that is going to be it for this week's video. I'm like so out of breath because this baby boy is getting really, really big. We have not much longer left until he comes. My due date's July 22nd. So this is going to be the first build video that we're doing, build series video, and it might be a few weeks or a month until the next one comes out because baby could come any day now. But a lot of you wanted a house tour, so we're going to do that video next. Show you guys around our house. We're finally pretty much settled and can't wait to show you baby's room and all that fun stuff. So till next time, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and we'll see you guys hopefully in like a week. Hopefully baby doesn't come this week. And if you guys have any questions or things you want to see on the next build video, again, it's probably going to be a little bit, let us know in the comments below. And this Promaster is looking pretty awesome. We're so excited for this one, so can't wait to share the journey with you guys. See you next time.